Oh, this is cool. This is cool. Let's see how this goes. This is my first live, man. First live on YouTube. I want to, for starters, thank you all for subscribing. For the 1,000 followers, it's an honor. Thank you those to you who are a part of my BCE group. What up, tribe? Those of you who signed up for the boot camp, BC boot camp. What up, tribe? And those who are in my emailing group, Breakthrough Crew. So I'm here to answer all questions and misnomers that you may have about cloud engineering, the cloud computer. Let me put some filters out there to let people know that I'm live. Let's see. Uh, uh, all right, let's see. Posted in the group as well. Hope I shared the right link. We'll see. All right, so post your questions here, or yeah, please. Oh, what's up, Ray? How you doing, brother? Post your questions here. That in all caps, should I? Questions here. Me kind of preface preface what kind of questions. You gonna start asking me all type of relationship questions. This ain't that kind of channel. Hey Ray, you got something to drink on, man? While you asking, while you, or do you have any questions for me? I'm drinking, by the way. I'm drinking and I'm having my cigar per usual. What you gonna learn about, at the start of boot camp? I do my cigar thing. You know what I'm saying? I sip on a little something, something. A little casual. I make that, try to make the environment nice and warm to learn. You know what I'm saying? And then and enjoying a joyful learning experience. Coach. What you drinking on? Let me see if I can pin my. Hey, Ashante, how you doing? Oh, you drinking on that crown? Look, I was gonna get some crown today. So this morning, I ain't gonna lie, it was a light day at work. So, and I know I had a whole bunch of studying ahead of me today. So I said I'm gonna get some. I said I'm gonna sip on a little something. I usually don't sip in the mornings, but I said let me sip on a little something while I study and have my cigars. So I went and got me this French vanilla because I usually drink like a coffee or latte in the morning. And this is great to mix with. Great to mix with. But I was gonna get that Crown originally, but I saw that they had the small version of the French vanilla, the vodka, Ciroc French vanilla. Classic. Tastes super yummy. It's been my favorite for a long time, but it's been a minute since I had it, but it's great. Shantae, what questions y'all got about? Y'all have any questions about cloud engineering? Ray, you specifically, I know you before you start boot camp. Any curiosities, anything I can help calm your mind, help ease your anxiety? Because I already know you probably excited as hell. And you probably have a lot of, um, you know, just you're just curious because you don't know what I'm about to throw at you, but and you want to be best prepared on top of all that. So I'm here to answer that. See, Shante. Sante, all right, let's see. Are you new to this cloud thing? Been learning, practicing Linux so far, so good. Good. No, Linux is great. Like Linux is the foundation of cloud engineering. You know, if you want to think about the thing that's so sweet about cloud engineering is you could start off as a cloud engineer and shift into any role. Like I went the route of going into cloud architecture. So now I'm a cloud architect. Um, but you can go into security, cloud security engineer. You can go into cloud DevOps. You can become a TAM. You can go into um, you can even go into things like UXI design. Like cloud engineers, like the base level. It gives you enough, like, because you're dealing with security, you're dealing with networking, you're dealing with IAM policies, you're dealing with so many things that it kind of gives you a grandiose view of the entire cloud landscape. And you have the expertise to damn near build anything you want. So it's a great basis to start with. And Linux is the most dominant production server operation system on the planet. Every major corporation uses Linux, has some type of Linux distribution running in their infrastructure. So it's great that you're starting there to learn the fundamentals. Now, I want to say this because in my boot camp, we do Linux as well. So, yeah, Ray, you're going to be doing some Linux too. And in fact, that's what we do the first week. We start cracking in Linux the first week. I'm like, look, we're gonna break that icebreaker. You're gonna get comfortable with that command line interface. You're gonna get comfortable. You ain't got no choice. Let me get my smoke going. And the reason we do that is because most people who trying to break into cloud engineering, and even hell, even most people in cloud engineering avoid the command line. Like they're scared of it. So they don't it prevents them from capitalizing on a lot of opportunities out there because you can do so many things if you just know Linux. Like you can pivot in so many areas and you increase your productivity, and which gives you more time back to yourself. So if you have a task where they say, all right, we need you to build five EC2 servers or whatever. And if you know how to do it if you know how to use Linux, you'll likely be able to use uh, uh, know how to use JSON and YAML. But anyway, by using the command line, you can put a couple scripts together, and boom, instead of it taking you a week to complete this task, you can do it in practically 10 minutes. And look, you got the rest of your week to yourself to chill and work on other projects or relax or study. So you don't always have to get caught up in, that's why I try to encourage newbies and freshers coming into the industry to get friendly with the command line so that so that you can make your job easy. It's not to say, oh, you got to become a coder and programmer. No, it's like, look, you want to become more efficient at this thing so you can buy back time to yourself. Like you invest all this time to learn this skill to buy more back time for yourself to do things that you want to do. Hopefully that make a little sense. When does the boot camp begin? Hey, Jaleisha, what's happening? So the boot camp begins. This is my wife, y'all coming in. Hey, honey, you okay? I'm doing my YouTube. Let me know if you need me. I'm doing live on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, so the boot camp starts January 2nd. And yeah, enrollment ends on the 30th of this month. You know, I already know I'm gonna have some stragglers coming in around November and January. November and December. So I might make an exception here and there, but I'm really trying to do the cutoff at October 30th. I messed up last boot camp, allowing people to enroll last minute, and it just disrupted the flow of things. It just didn't give me the kind of results that I wanted out of the students. Like I only want to work with the dead serious. That's why I have it positioned the way it is currently, because I only want to work with those who are dead serious about changing their lives through this cloud engineering path or cloud security engineering path. So dead serious like I was, and I'm just showing you a shorter way to get to a long, more fruitful outcome for you in this field. So yeah, but yeah, it starts It starts January 2nd, but you can still sign up. You still got time. We still got a little bit more room left. That's narrowing too. We gonna get we're about to get to capacity, but we got some left. So Jaleesa, please sign up. Any more questions y'all got? What y'all got? What you sipping on, Ashante? Who else on here? Should I get the AWS CCP cert? No, no. Mm-mm. And that's one thing about our boot camp that's a little bit unique is that, oh, okay, my wife got a headache, y'all. That's why she didn't wave at y'all. If you're a married man, you know when your wife in the mood, you know when to play and when not to play. But anyway, um, uh, yeah, don't get that CCP, man. And the reason I say that is because any entry level certification, the CCP, the Azure fundamental, Azure fundamentals are still kind of I would actually say probably the only I would say out of GCP, Azure, and AWS, AWS CCP Cloud Practitioner certification isn't worth your time. And here's why: because you ain't sipping on nothing. Oh my God, you didn't get the invite then. On the original invite, I said I'm bringing something to drink with me, so that means you're supposed to bring something to drink. But let me get back to your point, Ray. Your question. The CCP is for. I'm gonna tell you who it's for, and it's been like this since it was created. Um, it's for executives and salespeople, people who are the non-technical side of dealing with cloud technology, meaning they have to sell a product that interacts with it, meaning they have to do consulting with it, or whatever. Um, they're not going to be engineers. They're not going to be people. Professions of the craft who are going to interact with the cloud on a troubleshooting, but like they're not required to have in-depth knowledge. Um, they just think non-technical side. Those is what the practitioner is best for because again, it helps them better sell cloud services software. If you're an engineer, you need to be going for associate level certifications only to start. And I want to throw in there cloud specialty certifications. So, and again, Ray, in my boot camp, we'll dispute that. We'll find out exactly which certification you particularly need to start working towards. And that goes for any other students who are in the boot camp. Um, but yeah, like associate level certs only or specialty certs. Like AWS has a networking specialty cert. They have I would consider cloud security is a specialty cert they have as well. And there's one more I can't think off the top of my head. I think it's SysOps is a specialty cert. And then Azure has some associate level because and the reason for it is because the initial cloud certification, the market is kind of caught up to the entry level point. Like the market is kind of at the entry level point. So all the entry, so like when I first came in, I got this AWS CCP, and that did drastically help me get my first role. But that was in 2018 when the AWS only had not just AWS, the cloud. Okay, AWS only had 25% of the of the database server market, and AWS was practically the only cloud provider out there. This before Azure was fully fleshed out. This before Google Cloud came along. So that was early. We're still in the early phases of cloud, but companies have matured a little bit to where their engineers have matured a little bit, so the knowledge has increased. So therefore, those entry level certifications like the CCP, waste of time. Just get the AWS SAA. You can study the CCP. Due to your fears, you're going to procrastinate on these certifications unless you're in my boot camp because I push you off the water. But most people, you can clear the CCP, AWS CCP, to be honest with you, within a week and a half. Like knowing zero to being able to pass in a week and a half. If you study every day for about 2 to 3 hours. Um, with the AWS SAA Solutions Architect certification, the associate level, you can pass that. You can be ready to sit that in 4 weeks. And that's being able to study 1 hour a day. You really could knock that out even early, and really 3 weeks. You could schedule for your exam in 3 weeks. So this stuff doesn't take long. The reason these certifications take long and it's so hard on people is one, the one main reason is because of their fear. You're afraid of taking the wrong certification. You're afraid that it's not going to matter. It's not going to take time. I always say this: before taking a cloud certification, go into Indeed and type in that certification to see if employers are looking for it. Because if employers aren't looking for it, then it's not worth obtaining. It's like people go get this Linux certification. The only Linux certifications really worth having are the Kubernetes certifications. If you go get a Linux Foundation or Linux, those things are cool, but they're not highly sought after. Because Linux, you learn Linux. There's no real master of Linux. You just become good at using, and you're not even going to use 25% of what Linux is capable of in any cloud engineering role, in most cloud engineers roles. Like Linux is so vast, you're never going to go that deep, and you're not going to want to. You're not going to need to. A company organization isn't going to need you to. They're probably going to only have you using the same 5 to 10 scripts. That's it. The same 5-10 commands. You might be changing, interacting various types within those various components of that command, like interchanging them, but copy, moving stuff over, creating directory, root directory, blah blah blah. Anyway, hopefully I answered your question, Ray. My bad. I can be a little long-winded. I promise myself I ain't gonna be on this. I ain't know how this is gonna go, to be honest with y'all, but this is kind of cool. So I might stay a little longer than I intended, but I said I'm not gonna be. I can sometimes be loquacious, and I've been drinking, so I'm a little excited. All right, so no more boot camps for me. I'm currently paying one back. I never finished. It was UXUI. Oh my God, Ashante. No. Okay. So yeah. All right. So and Shante, I'm with you on this. Look, like I said, my boot camp is only for those who need accountability, need exact direction, and are ready to take immediate action. So it's not for everybody. In fact, I encourage most people to listen. I'll give all kinds of free advice. Always come to me if you need some help getting somewhere, but don't be afraid. I always encourage them using other resources that are out there. Like, don't just go for mines, because I know mines is a commitment. So, and I want you to be able to commit to mine without having a guilty conscience, because I know how it is. So, um, but I would say, Shante, schedule some time with me. Like, schedule some one-on-one time with me. Get on my calendar. Let me see. Let me put the link in the chat. I got links for everything, man. One, that's how much I stay on this laptop. Two, that's how much I've been doing this stuff, like helping people and building out resources and tools to help various groups of people. Hold on 1 second. Oh dang. Hold on. Hopefully y'all can still see me while I switch screens temporarily. Let me put this in the chat. All right, so schedule one-on-one with me. So here's why I said it, Shante, is because um yeah, I don't know what path you're on right now, but we need to find that out together. It sounds like you're still a little bit all over the place. Like, learning Linux is great, but you can learn Linux while studying for the certification. And the trick to that is doing a project that involves you preparing for your certification while having to interact with the CLI, the command line interface. So if there's a project where you have to build out an IAC, well, you can look within that project and see, does it include using the command line, and it's going to likely say yes. And that way you get a 2-for-1. You get to study for your cloud certification or any type of particular certification while building your Linux skills. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 hack for you. But yeah, UXI, I get that. Yeah, I get it. That's more so non-technical side. That's dealing with a lot of uh, basically designing a product to have a pleasant user experience. Uh, um, Providing that a consumer or a visitor has a pleasant experience with the application, a company's application or website or what have you. and doing a lot of presentation to the tech side. Like it's a whole it's a different ballpark. It's not engineering. They make good money, but it's hard to break into because it's I'm not saying that it's highly competitive, but it's one of those fields. It's like, is the bang really worth the buck? Because it's like, unless you're going to be a business owner in UXI, it's not worth it, because most companies are going to have product managers, and most companies are already going to utilize um, software tools that can do the job just as well. But business owners aren't and can't, and that's what most of these UXI um, programs don't really teach like that. It should really be a business class, because you can make a ton of money doing UXI design for small businesses. For example, to create front end websites or mobile app fronts for Jamaican restaurants. That would be a niche field. Like, I would just literally go across city to city to these small mom and pop Jamaican restaurants doing my presentation. Anyway, I ain't gonna go down that whole rabbit hole. Like I said, I've been drinking. I'm trying not to be less loquacious, but I was just saying, like, um, this all speaks to being well informed about your journey, knowing exactly where you want to go, and getting the exact tools on resources on how to get there. And that's what folks like me out here for. I'm just here to help you get exactly where you need to go without all the fluff, without all the wasted time, with all the wasted resources, etc. So that's the only thing I want to do, because there was no one around to help me when I was trying to figure this out on my own. I was in every boot camp group, blah, trying to figure this all out. And I didn't have there was nobody and no American groups around that were cloud focused. Nah, it was a whole journey for me. So I always said, when I get on, and as I got on, I created the B Cloud Engineers group, because I wanted to help people who, like me, Americans like me, trying to come up and make something out of ourselves, coming from a different field. So I'm with you. Next question. Let me see. So I have somewhat of a plan following the cloud path provided by Made by GPS. Okay, never heard of them, but I respect that. Okay, like I said, listen, reach you ain't if even if you don't schedule a call with me, hop in my DM and just shoot me a message, and so you can maybe get my thoughts on what you're working on or whatever. I'm always free to help out. I'm not always free to help out, but I always make time to help out. Basically, is what I'm saying. But I am free to reach, is what I'm saying. So, but I love that though. Just stay busy though. Stay working, chopping at it, man. I'm glad you're doing that, Ashante. That's half the battle. Is doing something, So, all right. So, who else got a question? Oh, you focus on networking next? Beautiful. Net A plus. That's the only comp tier, sir, I will ever recommend outside of Security Plus is Network Plus certification. That's very valuable, most overlooked certification out there in the market out of everything. Like, if I had to start over from scratch, I would go get a network certification plus certification. That'll be the first certification I do to get on. But anyway, yeah, just reach out if you need help. But it looks like you're working, so I love it. All right, Jaleesa, I've been going extra hard on these obtaining knowledge, preparing for search, finishing unspoken. I ain't even been smoking my cigar. Hold on. I've been going. Let's see what Jaleesa said. Extra hard obtaining knowledge, prepping for search. Okay, good. Finishing unsoak course to transfer into this BS of cloud computing degree. Okay, I don't know if the BS stand for bull or it's supposed to be BA, but I'm gonna assume it's bull. Working on projects and my portfolio. What beautiful. Okay, Jaleesa, that's a good plan right there. You're working on your degree, which is great. Takes a little time, a little, but you're getting it. You're working towards something. I'm with that, and your most important part is you're building a portfolio. Why? Because most college kids come out of these colleges and don't have no examples of the work that they've done to show that they have knowledge that applies to work experience, like real life knowledge, like regarding uh, various cloud computing projects. Like, they have nothing to show that they worked in a production environment. They built a production environment. They built a testing environment. They built a CI/CD pipeline. Like there's no proof. They just say, "Oh, I got my degree, I'm on." No, that's why many cloud students who come out of college with these degrees end up joining boot camps anyway. Or they got such a long journey having trouble. It's because their teachers in these schools aren't prepping them for real world experience of career of being a professional, a tech professional in the real world. Like there's one thing to get the knowledge and the scientific knowledge, the fundamentals, but it's a whole nother beast to become career prepped for what it takes to compete in the market for a role. And to have a competitive edge, you have to have one thing like a portfolio. That portfolio can be on Medium, a Medium blog. It can be on a GitHub repository somewhere. It can be on, what's another one I know off the top of my head. You can even you can put, I don't know if you can store your repos. Well, yeah, you can create a blog on LinkedIn that showcases your work or whatever. But there's all types of resources out there. But Medium and GitHub is the ones I'm most familiar with. But yeah, building that portfolio, I would say out of all that you say is the most, that's the bang right there. Make sure you store all your projects there, all your school projects there, have links to them, and make it public so that people, and then talk about the projects that you're doing on LinkedIn. That's another thing I want to say. You all forget that you are a brand. The tech engineers this year and going forward have to understand that you are a brand. You have to be a brand online. The years of being a tech genius behind the scenes that's antisocial, don't talk a lot, those days, and you being found by these big tech companies or these big, or even a toilet paper company, these billion-dollar companies, million-dollar companies, those days is done. They're not going out and to go out their way to find you. You got to kind of publicize that you're in the market, that you're making moves, that you're shaking. Again, I talk about all this in my boot camp. In fact, I think I have a video talking about that as well. One of these videos. Um, um, but yeah, start talking about the projects you're working on, even if you failed the project, or you lost the project, or you're doing terrible at the project, or you completed the project. Start talking about it on LinkedIn so that you start to build your network. People think networking is going to an event and socializing and having drinks and meeting people and passing business card. No, no, not in 2023. And wherever year this video gonna be watched, networking is about building out. You build network in any capacity. I built networks and just interviewing for companies. I've established networks. So like you gotta. Hopefully, I'm making some type of sense to y'all with that. It's just networking is like start publicizing the work and your efforts, and start publicizing your journey. Is basically what I'm saying. You never know who you're inspiring. You never know who you're going to be connected to or introduced to. You never know who's watching, but it's all going to be beneficial. All right, let's see what other questions we got. Kenya, what's happening? Mm, let's see what else we got. I spend 9 hours a day trying to get myself where I need to be. I respect that, Jaleesa. Good, good. You hungry? You hungry? The more hours you put in now, the less years you have to put in. So that's beautiful. It's all gonna pay off. Trust me. I've been there. Still don't have a solid career idea in cloud where I want to go. It's looking like engineering now. Okay, okay. I say what if you're doing Linux, you're headed towards engineer. You just probably don't know if you're doing DevOps, doing security, networking, cloud general cloud engineering, or what. Just know that there's dozens of avenues for you to go by just having engineering skills, cloud engineering skills, dozens of places to go. But again, like I said, reach out to me. Oh, you got your Security Plus rating? Great, bro. That's a great start. That's a great start. Yeah, I think you're enrolled in the security boot camp, so you're gonna be working with me and Jennifer, who's a solutions security cloud security solutions architect for AWS. She has a great class for you as well. So that Security Plus tool is gonna be. Hell, you qualify for some jobs already. You probably if you, is your record clean? Let me ask you that question. Like you ain't been to prison or nothing like that, nothing crazy. Can you pass a background test? That's what I need to know. All right, I started networking a month. Oh, good, Kenya. That's great. Listen, I'm gonna make one video on this. I'm gonna before the end of November. I'm gonna make one networking video on how valuable that networking plus certification is. If I could tell every cloud engineer before becoming a cloud engineer or before getting in cloud any kind of engineering way, I would say start with that networking plus certification. That mug, woo, you can get a job today making 76,000. You know, on minimum, just with no experience with that networking plus certification. Then the sky is up from there. You can have multiple contracts working. Anyway, okay, WGU, yeah, I've heard of them. Either way, I'm glad you're getting started. That's the hardest part. Most people do not take any action. They get so there's paralysis by analysis. So many things out there in the market. So many marketing tools. So many things and ways they're being pulled and told what to do that they get lost in the sauce and they don't do anything. So the fact that you're already in school, you know, and I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're at DeVry, you know, wasn't recommended, of course, but wherever school you at, just start, man. Man, I don't stop drinking because of y'all. What's going on, man? You got a clearance too? What other questions y'all got? Never mind, you answered my question. Others, someone new to tech. What types of projects? Oh, good question, Kenya. So, networking in particular, the type of projects you should have is, and you can choose your cloud platform: Google Cloud, Azure, the AWS, any of those big three. But I would say for networking, I have to look into those particular projects. But I would say you would have type projects that basically showcase you building a private network and allowing public access only through certain particular IP addresses or from particular locations. That's one project that you can do that'll show off. It'll allow you to establish so many amazing skills that employers are looking for, because in doing so, you're going to have to understand networking, fundamental networking. You're going to have to understand TLS, the networking layers, the 7 networking layers. You're going to have to understand the networking ports. You're going to have to understand how cloud networking works. So many skills in just one project that you can add to your resume immediately to your resume. That's another thing I say. When you do these projects, don't just say I did my project, I'm happy, I feel great, I feel amazing, I accomplished something. Congratulations. No, put that thing on your resume so everybody else knows knows you have experience, real world experience. Because how you configure a network, or like being able to use and how you configure a network on for your home project is going to be very similar to how you configure a network on IP config on your local machine. When you work in a corporation, is IP config. It's the same thing. Theirs is going to be a more complex because they have firewalls, of course, and they have DMZ zones, of course. But it's all the same thing. So that's why projects at home count as project work experience. I always encourage to add that to your resume. That way it starts putting years of experience on your months of experience on your resume, years of experience on your both on your resume. So start putting that on there and put links. Make sure you got a link. Your resume can link back to the project, the portfolio I mentioned earlier, it being a Medium or GitHub repo or whatever. So hopefully that answers your question. What kind of projects should you be doing? Yeah, any real world project um, that you can find these easily on Google. Go into Google, type in real world projects for network engineers, or real world projects for cloud engineers, or real world projects for um, cloud DevOps engineers. I take cloud a lot because one, a lot of the industry is moving towards cloud, and two, we're making the most money in the tech industry. Cloud people, cloud professionals, and then three, Once you learn cloud, you have in learning cloud, you have to kind of learn the fundamentals of on-premise services and software and tools anyway. So you kind of learn it all in like in one fell swoop. You're never gonna know it all, but you're gonna learn a lot. Oh, you have a clearance too, Ray? What kind of clearance you got? You got a PT, or you got a security clearance, or you got a top secret? What kind of clearance we talking about? I got a big announcement I'm about to make. Hopefully, fingers crossed, in a couple of days. So I mean, a couple of weeks. So, but you got that clearance, man. Yo, boy, your world about to turn completely, about to look completely different next year if you got that clearance. Kind of clearance you got. Kenya, thanks for that. You in Connecticut? Love to work down in New York. Which is your favorite? You know, I always got smoke for New York. I always got smoke for New York. I'm gonna be in New York with my wife on for Thanksgiving. So, what's the best bar to go to and hang out at? You know what I'm saying? Non-Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear some trap music. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear some French Montana. But yeah, I'll be up there though, for real, for real. So, maybe we can link up at a bar or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say the other thing that I'm into because this is a public channel. It'll be sometimes teenagers on the stuff. So I'm trying to keep this clean. All right. Can you shout out my dad? He loves. Who's your dad, man? What up, Cardboard? Shout out to your dad, Poe. What up, Poe? How you doing, Poe, man? Uh, appreciate you following my content, man. Continue to share the content, man. Hopefully, I'm doing something and saying something that's helping you get the direction or motivation that you need in your life, particularly in cloud tech. So appreciate that, man. Appreciate your son or your daughter. I don't know which child it is, but they said you love the child. So private network allowing public, yeah, different places. Yeah, great project. Does the boot camp offer? Hey, man, what? We got Tiffany Hall, who does uh she's already got 12 people in tech employed this year, and she's one of the mentors in the boot camp. Absolutely, I got her doing resumes. We're gonna do your resume, show you how to do your resumes, the do's and the don't do's of your resume, along with give you a resume template to use in the boot camp, along with how to apply for tech roles, along with how to properly update your LinkedIn profile so that you're able to attract hiring managers and recruiters. So yeah, absolutely. I got that covered. Like I said, most schools aren't really teaching their students the career prep side of getting out in the field and becoming gainfully employed or obtaining contracts or starting their own business. We doing all that in my boot camp. We gonna work week to week. We gonna work. You gonna see. My one of the students from last boot camp was like, she was like, "Sheesh, it's a lot of work." She's like, "But it's doable," and that was great for me to hear because I was concerned, like, man, am I putting too much on them? Because, I'm like, I want them to have everything they need so they don't have to look back. You're not gonna take my boot camp and be like, oh, I feel like I'm missing this. No, it's all there. You got everything. You literally just have to execute. And so, yeah, we do all that. We have an entire week that we focus on that. So, yeah, 7 layers of networking. Yep, it's called the something model. I forget off the top of my head. I used to know it top to bottom. There's an abbreviation for it. I think it's called pizza or something like that. Uh, Um, how many projects will we be doing in boot camp? And boot camp, you're gonna do. Oof, you're gonna do about 3 to 4 projects that you can add to your resume as soon as you complete them. All right, we're gonna talk offline. That's cool. How many hours would somebody have to commit a week? A week to my boot camp, or a week to just studying and becoming a cloud engineer, a cloud security engineer in general? Because those are 2 different questions. And I'll answer both of them. Who else drinking? Kenya, is you drinking? Is you drinking, Kenya? So, all right, cool. What you sipping on? I didn't know what you sipping on. That's proof. So how many hours? So, that's a good question. I should ask my students in the last boot camp. But from my perspective, it should really take you honestly. If you dedicate 2 to 3 hours a week in my boot camp, you'll be fine. Like all my students say, if you procrastinate, the foot gonna be in your butt. Not me putting the foot in the butt. Your expectations of self, you're gonna be putting your foot in your own butt because you're gonna start getting behind. You're gonna feel like you're behind, even though I do my best to try to. I really go out my way and help to try to help all my students through every project, through every week. Like they would tell you, there's been times where they hit my DM 11 o'clock at night, 1, 2 in the morning. I'm still responding because during boot camp I dedicate myself completely to my students. Completely, they get all my focus around the clock. I've had called lunch calls with students. They and they scrubs at lunch working through projects together. Also on Google Meet. So I would say 2 to 3 hours a week. Is very doable. But if when you start procrastinating, saying, "Oh man, I had to go to this event," "Oh man, I had to," I understand you get sick. That's reasonable. Even though when I was coming up, I ain't care, but I get it. Look, I'm way more lenient on people than I am on myself. So I would say 2 to 3 hours a week. But again, when you start coming up with excuses, oh, you got to go out with your friends, you got to go out to this party, oh, you want to take an extra nap and you sleepy, you're gonna get yourself behind and you gonna be behind in my boot camp. You can't never say I ain't give you everything you needed. You're gonna be kicking yourself in them. But and again, and I still provide ongoing support after the boot camp. So just because you left my boot, you graduated the boot camp, don't mean you get rid of me. I'm still around to help you. Man. I think of my students so much. I still help them. Man, it's crazy. Yeah. So to answer your question, 2 to 3 hours a week. All right, what are my thoughts on a realistic amount of time for somebody breaking the clock? Realistically, you can do it in 6 months. I'm being honest with you. If you don't procrastinate, you can really do it in 4. When I say don't procrastinate, I mean you're putting 2 to 3 hours. You're putting 1 hour in a day towards an objective to get you towards becoming a cloud engineer or cloud security engineer. But you can realistically, given some procrastination, you can do it in 6 months because it's going to take you. I'm gonna break it down for you and show you how. Why? It's going to take you. Um, it's going to take you a month to get your first associate level certification. All right. It's going to take you 4 weeks to study and do practice exams um, before you schedule your first exam. Even though I say schedule your exam ahead of time. Like I always schedule my exam on the date I say I'm going to take it. So if I'm going to, and I always give myself 4 weeks at least, um, unless I'm really confident in the exam, I just give myself 4 weeks to take it. So usually it's going to take you a month to schedule your exam. That's going to take the most of your time because you're coming into something you don't really know at all. So that's going to take you a month. But before even taking your certification, as I always tell everybody, start doing projects. If you want to be a cloud engineer, if you want to be a cloud security engineer, if you want to be a network engineer, if you want to be a DevOps engineer, if you want to be a platform engineer, if you want to be whatever, don't start for your certification first. Go to Indeed, type in that job, type in that role, find 3 of them that you really like, that paying the type of money that you want. Look at the objectives, pick 3 objectives, and replicate those objectives in the project. Do a project that does those 3 objectives. Start doing that first, and each project should honestly take you no more than 2 weeks. All right. So now that's 2 months right there. The first month you're finding projects and doing the project. You're doing 1.5 project. You're doing 1.5 project. No, 1 project every 1.5 weeks. I've been drinking in my math, but you get it. So like I said, it should take you 4 weeks to complete 3 projects. So that's your 2 months ago. First month is project. Second month is you doing your certification. Your third month should be spent you taking 1 week to update your resume, update your LinkedIn profile, update your profile on all your job boards. All that should be done in a week. And then boom, start sending out your resume. It should take you about 2.5 weeks before you start getting enough feedback from recruiters and hiring managers to know if your resume is a hit or miss. If your resume is a hit, like if it's doing well, it's tracking well, you're getting recruiters to contact you, but and you're getting 2 interviews. And I have this whole thing where I break down on my videos about I'm not gonna dive in it now, but on my YouTube channel, there's a whole thing I break down about how to know if your resume sucks, needs improvement, or your interview needs improvement, or this technical skills, blah 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 blah. But it should again, it's first week projects, first month projects, second week certification focus. Third week, month is your resume, professional profiles, and applying for roles. And you should start getting feedback and start at least interviewing by your 4th month. Your 4th and your 5th month, you should start being really good at interviewing. It's gonna take you about a couple weeks before you, because you're shaky grounds, you're scared. Again, fear is gonna be all in your mind, running your life. And if you depend on how you manage fear, is either gonna stop, it's gonna make that 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, or if you manage that fear well, it's gonna make that 6 months, 6 months. It's all gonna be the fear. So you're gonna do these, and you're gonna get good at these interviews by your 5th month, and then you're literally just doing interviews until you get your offer letter. Now, back when you started getting on, it took about 6 to 4 interviews before you got an offer letter. Nowadays, they're doing 2 to 1 interview, and then hitting you with your offer letter. So it's not even the period of time from interviewing to getting the offer letter isn't as long as it used to be, years ago, a year or 2 ago. So that's why I say 6 months. So that's why it's so important for you to know exactly what you want to pursue, what kind of role you want to pursue. That's why you should start jumping on the projects immediately, and stop trying to dibble and dabble with everything. And just because the market and things are happening and move, and you're paying too much attention to where everybody else in the field or not in the field talking about on social media about the field, you're detracting yourself from taking action. So if you dedicate yourself 1 hour a day, if you dedicate yourself 2-3 hours a week towards 6 months, you can get into a role in 6 months. And then boom, so let's say you get in your first role, and your first role pays you anywhere between 70 to 85,000. Okay, that's straight money. If you in New York, that ain't no money, right? In New York, that ain't no money, but that's your first role. That's your first role. You only go up from there. You stay in that role for about 6 months, if that. 6 months to a year. You got 6 months to a year of so much more massive experience and confidence that you've obtained in this role. Boom, now you can go into your next role being able to demand at least 90,000. Okay, boom, you'll be able to go into your next role. Now you can demand your 6 figures. And boom, now you're talking about you climbing deeper and deeper into 6 figures. And then don't let me tell you the monetary opportunities that come up from you doing contracts, working multiple contracts. Don't let me tell you the opportunities that arise. I've gotten from you starting a business in this. I've gotten paid to do presentations for the government for a contracting company. They literally paid me to do a presentation. That's it. And I did the presentation. It took me, we studied for like 3 days together, 1 hour a day. We just went through the routine of this presentation, and they paid me. They sent the money to my Zelle account. I was like, what? Just having the knowledge, the skill, your certifications. So that's when people say, like people frown up because they see that it's not even a low number, but they see a number, the entry level number, the first year number, and they're like, oh, 70,000 ain't no money, 80,000 ain't no money. You're too short sighted. You don't see the possibilities beyond that. So I know I went on a little spree there. I'm gonna get off here in about 8. I can't believe I stayed on for an hour. This is crazy, y'all. I really appreciate y'all tuning in for real, for real. I thought this was gonna be empty blanks, like like just me. So I was like, I'm gonna do this for about 30 minutes, 15 minutes. But I've been having a great time with y'all. So let's see what else we got. Am I providing value to y'all? Am I giving y'all something that's useful? Like, am I making sense? Am I being helpful? Am I giving you, useful advice? Are you drinking wine? All right, kid. Okay, girl. Okay, I'm with that. So let me see. All right, what else we got? What else? Said, did you get an energy drink? I did have one this morning though. I did get one this morning. Oh, you got the PSI. I don't know what the PSI is. I don't know what that is, bro. Is that the public clearance? We gotta talk more about that. I don't know what that is. What are your thoughts on? Oh, we talked answered that. Taylor Laporte. Okay, you drinking that? You drinking that good wine? Okay. She said, no way, that's not wine. Taylor Laporte is liquor, ain't it? I don't think that's wine. I don't think that's wine. I don't think it's supposed to be wine. I'm a nurse transitioning. There are many different. Oh yeah, it's insane. Oh, you were right. You're right, King. Like I tell nurses all the time, you get into tech, you go straight into healthcare tech. You got the advantage because you're already in healthcare and you're interacting with the technology anyway, just on the front end. So that you're automatically gonna have favor going into these interviews because you've been in the field already and you're familiar with PHI, you're familiar with all the HIPAA compliant policies and everything like that. They ain't got to teach nobody who who haven't been introduced to this stuff yet. So yeah, help that start at 80,000 in NYC. Damn, that's great because it damn sure don't start at 80,000 in Atlanta. It's good money still, but it don't start at 80,000. But yeah, starting at 80,000 anywhere is damn good money. I don't care what nobody say. But that's just a start, like I said. Oh, thank you, Asante. I appreciate that. Good, good, good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I don't know what the OSI clearance is. She said, I hate healthcare. Well, listen, I'm just trying to tell you where you got that competitive advantage at. You ain't got to stay in healthcare. It's crazy because I worked in healthcare as a tech professional. I work for a healthcare company now. And I ain't never think I was going to be working in healthcare. But they pay, they take care of me. You get, man, the thing about this cloud tech, working in tech, you get to not only work with so many cool companies, you get exposed to so much cool information. And you get so many perks. Like you get tickets to places, you get exclusive things, you get flown. I've been flown all the way around the world. Like you get nice hotels, you get gifts, you get all type. We spoiled. My wife be getting on me all the time talking about how spoiled we are. We do really do got a good but we proud of the value we're providing a company to be able to run a website that's generating millions of dollars, or thousands of dollars a day, you know, or thousands. Some companies thousands of dollars an hour. Um, without that's saving that's without them having to stand up infrastructure on premise that will cost them x millions of dollars. When you saving a company, when you're instead of them paying millions for a database on premise, they're instead paying 26,000 for a year for a database instead of paying 3 million a year. You damn right they're gonna spoil you. You damn right they're gonna pay you big ups, big money. What's happening? The helmet. What's going on? We about to get off here soon. So, all right. So I said I'm gonna give y'all a free giveaway. So I want to only give it. I want to give it away to. I only want to give it away to y'all who've been participating, just to be fair, because y'all been here. Y'all been rocking with me. Um, I want to give it to y'all who've been participating. So if you're interested in the boot camp, if you're interested in the boot camp, well, I want to say this even publicly. I'm not even gonna say this publicly. I'm not gonna say it publicly. But if you're interested in the boot camp, send me a DM. I have a very, very special discount. I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna say it publicly, and I don't want to say it out loud. And I'm not telling my wife, all right, because she'll be mad at me. She hate when I give discounts. but I'm gonna give you a great discount. If you shoot me a DM after this live, and I'm gonna look out for you. So it only works for one person. So Ray, you've already used yours. So, but if you want to recommend somebody, I can give it to you. But it's only going to work one time for one person. But it's a very special discount. It's a deep. It's the deepest discounts I've ever done for people aside from military vets. I ain't going that deep. I only went deep like that because I care about my military folks. So that's my way of giving back to them. But I ain't going that deep. But it's gonna be a deep discount. Right. She need her wifey is not cheap. You hear me? She is pretty frugal though. I give her that. She don't like spending money at all. But she damn sure don't like me giving money away. So yeah, Ray. Hell nah, Ray. Hell nah. But again, it's gonna be a really good discount for you. Um so be sure to shoot me a DM, and I don't care how you get on touch with me. If you know my Facebook, if you know my email, let me put my email here. Just shoot me an email. That way y'all not all in my DMs and I'm not missing messages. Shoot me an email. Tell me you watch the video. Shoot me an email. I'm gonna shoot you a special discount code to use. All right, I'm gonna do that for you. So that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning on. I'm gonna try to. I like this. This was cool. This is way better than I thought it was gonna be. I might do these more often. So we'll see. I might do these more often. All right, y'all. Y'all be great. Got any more questions? You know where to find me. Shoot me an email. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Cheers. We out. All right.